Chisom stood under the blazing set lights, heart pounding harder than it ever had in her career. Her skin glowed under the makeup, her robe barely holding back the curves that had become her silent armor. This was her first lead role, her first love scene, her first time with him. Deo Calleje, Nollywood's most intense, most mysterious leading man. He sat silently on the edge of the bed set, shirt off, legs spread, abs carved like art, eyes hidden beneath long lashes. Everyone on set moved carefully around him. No one dared interrupt his process. He was already in character, the tortured billionaire lover about to make his woman surrender. Chisom glanced at the script again. Her lines blurred. They weren't supposed to kiss with tongue. They weren't supposed to touch down there. And yet, the way Deo had looked at her during rehearsal, slow, burning like he was memorizing her body, told her they were about to cross something. Scene 12, take 1, the director called out. Lights. Chisom adjusted her lace nightdress, heartbeat crawling up her throat. Camera rolling. Deo stood, moved to her with purpose. Action. The moment he touched her waist, she forgot where she was. His fingers didn't just hold, they owned. His lips brushed her collarbone before sliding up to her ear, warm breath against trembling skin. This wasn't supposed to happen, she whispered, her line shaking. I don't care, he growled, not from the script. He turned her around, pressed her against the door, hand sliding up her thigh. She gasped, the moan was real. His mouth found hers, and the kiss wasn't acting. It was hunger. Tongue-teeth need. The director shifted uncomfortably behind the camera. Still rolling. Deo's hand slipped beneath her nightdress. Her breath hitched. Her nails dug into his back. Her body, soaked, burning, arched into him. She forgot the lights. Forgot the crew. Forgot her name. Cut! The director finally shouted. But Deo didn't stop. Not immediately. His hand slid higher. His lips dragged across her neck. His voice low and dangerous. You feel that, don't you? Chisom's eyes fluttered open, breathless. She nodded, then blinked, and realized everyone was watching. The makeup chair was cold. Chisom sat there wrapped in a robe, fingers trembling slightly as a production assistant powdered her chest for continuity. But nothing about her body felt continuous. Her pulse hadn't slowed since that kiss. His kiss. The one Deo gave her after the director yelled, cut. He hadn't said a word to her since. He hadn't needed to. She caught glances. Crew members whispering. A sound guy who couldn't meet her eyes. The director patting her shoulder like she'd just survived war. What just happened? She found him an hour later, alone in the soundstage hallway, back turned, still in character. Shirtless. Pacing. You went off script, she said, voice sharp. He didn't turn. So did you. She folded her arms. I moaned because you grabbed me. He turned slowly, eyes locking with hers. Dark, unreadable and sinfully calm. You moaned because you felt it. Her breath caught, mouth parting just slightly. I didn't sign up to be your fantasy, she whispered. I'm not fantasizing, he replied. I'm performing. She stepped closer, their bodies inches apart now. If that was just performance, she said softly, you deserve an award. A silence stretched between them like a taut wire, full of tension, full of possibility. Then he moved. Rest. His hand cupped the back of her neck, pulled her into him, and kissed her again, hard, hungry, demanding. There were no cameras, no director, no cue. Just lips and heat and reckless need. She gasped into his mouth as he walked her backward until her spine hit the wall. His hand slipped inside her robe, fingers grazing the curve of her waist. Her leg lifted instinctively, wrapping around him, bodies flush. This isn't the scene, she breathed. I know. His lips kissed down her neck, slow and deliberate. Her robe slid open, exposing her bare skin to the chill of the hallway air, and his warm mouth. She arched into him. We'll get caught, she whispered. Then be quiet, he murmured and dropped to his knees. Just like that. His mouth was between her thighs, tongue slow and sinful, and she slapped a hand over her lips to silence the scream building inside her. Pleasure rippled through her like fire on silk. Her fingers twisted in his hair. Her hips bucked. Her entire body trembled. And when it was over, he stood, wiped his mouth with the back of his hand, kissed her again like he owned her, and whispered, "Now tell me that was just acting." She couldn't. It started as a one-time slip. But it didn't stop. Every night after shoot they stayed behind. Not by plan but by pull. A magnetism neither of them spoke about, but both obeyed. It wasn't in the schedule. It wasn't in the script. But it was happening. Every single week. That evening the crew had wrapped early. The set was dark except for the red exit sign glowing above the door. Chisom crept back in, barefoot, wearing his oversized t-shirt and nothing else underneath. She thought she was alone. Until she saw him, Deo, already sitting on the prop couch in the honeymoon suite set, legs open, a half-empty bottle of wine in his hand. "You're late," he said without looking at her. "I didn't know we had an appointment," she replied, slipping the shirt off slowly, letting it fall to the floor. He looked at her then. Fun. No smirk. No games. Just a hunger. He stood and crossed to her in 3 strides, lifting her effortlessly onto the vanity table beside the bed. Lights from the fake chandelier glinted across her bare chest. "I had a dream about this room," he said, trailing kisses down her collarbone. "But in the dream, we didn't stop when the cameras did." She bit her bottom lip, hips shifting. "Then don't stop." He didn't. She wrapped her legs around him. His jeans were undone in seconds. His mouth on hers, kissing her like the taste of her kept him alive. They didn't even make it to the bed. She rode him on the floor, her moans bouncing off the soundproof walls, her hands buried in his dreadlocks, her lips dragging across his shoulder like she was marking territory. When she came, she bit his neck to stay silent. When he followed, he collapsed against her, breathing hard. Neither moved for minutes. Later, still tangled in the sheet from the bed set, Chisom lay beside him under stage lights. "This is insane," she whispered. "We're actors," he said, smiling against her bare shoulder. "Everything we do is pretend." She turned her face to him. "Was this?" He didn't answer. Just pulled her on top of him again. And when she sank onto him, slowly, deeply, she didn't need the answer. She already knew. Morning call time. 7 a.m. The studio buzzed with tension before anyone even said, "Action." Today's schedule listed only one line. Scene 20, bedroom, full contact. Chisom's stomach twisted. The wardrobe girl handed her a silk slip so thin it was almost air. Across the set, Deo stretched beside the bed frame, rolling his neck, already in that trance that made him forget where acting ended. The director cleared his throat. "We'll keep this tasteful. Minimal movement. Emotional focus." Everyone nodded. No one believed him. Lights dimmed. Hush fell. "Action." Deo crossed to her slowly, fingers brushing her arm like testing temperature. "You still love me." His voice was velvet wrapped around fire. Her reply trembled. "I never stopped." He leaned in, and the script dissolved. His hand slid beneath her slip, tracing her spine. The camera crept closer. The crew held their breath. She was supposed to fake it. But when his mouth closed over her nipple through the silk, a sound escaped her that wasn't scripted at all. The mic caught it. The boom man flinched. Deo whispered, "Stay with me." She did. His palm guided her backward onto the bed, body covering hers. The sheets rustled, movements small but loaded. His hips pressed. She felt the hard truth of him even through the thin fabric between them. "Cut," the director murmured, but too softly. They didn't hear. Or didn't care. Her fingers tangled in his hair. His breath hit her throat. "Keep going," he said, voice breaking character entirely. She gasped. "We're still rolling." "So," he breathed, thrusting once, slow, measured, almost invisible to the lens. She bit her lip to kill the moan, but it slipped out anyway. Finally the director barked. "Cut! Cut!" Silence. The lights dimmed out. Crew scattered, pretending not to stare. Deo stood, fixing his belt, chest heaving. Chisom sat up, eyes wide, heart hammering like a drum inside her ribs. The director exhaled, shaking his head. That was believable. Everyone left but them. Deo turned, sweat gleaming down his temple. "You felt it too." She didn't answer. She only met his gaze. 1 second, 2 forever, and whispered, "After hours?" He nodded once. And that was how rehearsal turned into routine. By Monday, the whispers had grown legs. A blurry behind-the-scenes photo leaked on a gossip blog. Chisom sitting on Deo's lap during a supposed break. Her lips were near his neck. His hand was on her thigh. The caption, "Acting or auditioning for his bed." It went viral before she left set that evening. Her phone buzzed non-stop. Group chats, agents, even her church fellowship thread. Most messages were the same. "Is it true?" She ignored them all. What she couldn't ignore was Deo, who hadn't texted once. The knock came around 11:42 p.m. She was on the couch in nothing but a tank top and shorts, the wine bottle half gone. When she opened the door, rain blew in with him. Oh, breathless, beautiful. Deo! He didn't speak, just walked in. Water trailing behind him, shirt clinging to his skin. "You could have called," she said. He closed the door behind him. "Would you have let me in?" She hesitated. "I needed to see you," he said, voice raw. She crossed her arms. "You've been avoiding me." "I've been trying to figure out if I'm insane," he said. "Because I can't stop thinking about the way you look when you come." Her breath caught. He stepped closer. "I know it was just supposed to be chemistry. Ting. But every time I'm not inside you, I'm incomplete." Silence pulsed. Then she whispered, "This isn't sustainable. Neither is breathing without you." His hands gripped her waist, pulling her into him. She didn't resist. Their lips crashed again, but this time it wasn't rushed. It was desperate, angry, messy. She pulled his wet shirt off, tossing it to the floor. His mouth found her neck, her chest, her hip bone. He lifted her onto the counter, spreading her legs like he'd been thinking about it since sunrise. She gasped as his fingers traced every memory they'd made under the lights. "You're not mine," he said, kissing lower. "But you will be." She didn't stop him. Not when he knelt. Not when his tongue made her see stars. Not even when he lifted her into his arms and carried her to the bedroom. By the time he was inside her, slow and deep, both of them knew. Whatever this was, it stopped being pretend a long time ago. The studio was dark, locked, and silent. No crew. No cameras. No lights. Just the two of them standing at the center of the set where it all began, the bedroom scene. The bed still dressed in satin sheets. The walls still soft pink and candlelit. Everything still waiting for a performance neither of them came to give. Chisom wore a long coat. Nothing underneath. Deo sat on the edge of the prop bed, watching her with eyes that had forgotten how to pretend. "You didn't tell anyone you were coming?" she asked softly. He shook his head. "I wanted it quiet." She stepped forward slowly. "Why now?" He stood. "Because if I touched you one more time with people watching, I was going to forget the difference between a scene and what I really want." He slipped her coat off her shoulders. She let it fall. Her body, bathed in the studio's residual glow, was no longer being costumed for a role. It was hers. And he worshipped it like it mattered, like she mattered. He cupped her face. "I want this. Off script. No marks. No edits." She kissed him. And this time the kiss wasn't hot. It was slow. Not performance. Not seduction. Just presence. She climbed onto his lap. He laid her down on the set bed, their bed now. The soft sound of lips. Breath. Skin on skin. No rush. No commands. No acting. Just hands learning the real her. His fingers traced the curve of her hip, the underside of her breast, the dip of her waist. He shivered. He slid inside her like he belonged. Her legs wrapped around him like she'd been waiting for this version of him. Not the actor. The man. Their moans were low, real, tangled in shared breath. His mouth found her earlobe. No cameras, Chisom. I know. No pretending. I know. No cut. She smiled. Don't you dare stop. He didn't. They made love like it was discovery. Like all those scenes before had only been shadows of what this was now. And when it was over, her body sore, his voice hoarse, the sheets soaked with heat and honesty, they lay together silent. She looked up at him and whispered, "So what now?" He ran a thumb across her bottom lip. "Now we write our own script." She smiled. Lights off, clothes off, and for the first time, no roles left to play.